What's up, guys? What does it mean to be salt and light? We're going to talk about that today. Stay tuned. And we are back once again. We are in the book of Matthew looking at the mountaintop experiences in a series that we're calling Heaven Meets Earth. And Matthew is showing us some really unique things about Jesus through the retelling of these mountaintop experiences. And so today, we're actually going to continue walking through the Sermon on the Mount. If you have your Bible, open it up to Matthew chapter 5, and we're going to be in verses 13 through 16. Let's read that together real quick. You are the salt of the earth, but if salt has lost its taste, how shall its saltiness be restored? It is no longer good for anything except to be thrown out and trampled under people's feet. You are the light of the world, a city sat on a hill that cannot be hidden. Nor do people light a lamp and put it under a basket, but on a stand, and he gives light to all in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, so that they may see your good works and give glory to your Father who is in heaven. So what does this all mean? What does it mean to be salt and light? Like, we don't use that type of language today. Well, let's dig into this really quickly and explain it. I think the first thing that we should know is that we're not called to live in this little confined Christian bubble where we only have our Christian friends and we're only involved in church and we only listen to this type of music and do this particular thing. We're called to live out in the earth. God has called you to a specific place to live out a specific purpose and to be agents of gospel change where He has put you. What does that look like? Well, we need disciples of Jesus who are artists. We need disciples of Jesus who play football and baseball or wrestle or do gymnastics. We need disciples of Jesus who go to public school. We need disciples of Jesus that go to private school. We need disciples of Jesus that are homeschoolers. We need disciples of Jesus that work in academic field, who are doctors, who are nurses. We need disciples of Jesus in every area and corner of the earth that God has created in being agents of gospel change. Now, the second thing that we need to know about this is we're called not to water down the message of the gospel. He uses the example of salt and salt losing its flavor. And here's a question, let me ask you this. Can salt become anything else other than salt? You're probably like, smart aleck answer is like, yeah, if you subject it to chemical change, yada, yada, yada. But the short answer is no. Salt can never be anything but salt unless you do some kind of crazy scientific experiment and change its chemical properties, okay? But what can happen is contaminants seep into the salt. When Jesus was walking the earth, they would use salt to preserve meat. So over time, after that salt had been used a few times, it had contaminants in it, and it would lose its flavor. It wouldn't be good for anything, so they would just toss it out. In the same way, when we let worldly philosophies and how the world sees things seep into and creep into the message of the gospel, it's no longer good for anything. So we can't water down the message of the gospel. We can't allow worldly philosophies to influence the message of the gospel. The gospel is the gospel. It is the good news of Jesus and what He did for you and for me. And that message can never change. So here's the thing. We need Christians. We need Christians in all walks of life to be absolutely committed to being disciples of Jesus, living as agents of gospel change in the world today. Listen, guys, I love you. Hope these messages have been helpful for you. Don't forget, tonight at 7:30, we are Zooming. So if you don't have that Zoom link, go ahead and text at MR3R to 81010, and we'll make sure to get that to you. Love you guys, and we'll see you next time.